when they got killed?
Michael Jackson?
No, Emmett Till.
We're talking about Michael Jackson.
No, he was.
Yeah.
The conversation was about Emmett Till, and then you took a segue to Michael Jackson. But I'm going back to Emmett Till was just a boy.
Welcome to What Game Are You Gaming? My name is Ian. This is the artist formerly known as Mike Charles.
Hi.
What we normally do on this show is talk about whatever game we're currently gaming. We talk about it a little bit. But fuck that. It's the brand new year. It's 2016. And it's time to talk about our Game of the Year 2015. We'll go with our honorable mention, our runner-up, and then our Game of the Year.
I thought you said 4.
No, 3.
Well, this fucking throws it all off plan, but I'll wing it. I'll get it together like I always do.
So you had 4? Just cut the shittiest one out.
Yeah, no, I'll cut my honorable mention will become nothing. And alright, so my honorable mention would be Until Dawn. It was not a survival horror. It was I talked about it on the last episode.
On the last, yeah, but that was like 5 months ago.
Well, we don't hold our word when it comes to this show.
No, we said that we're going to do the show every once in a while.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do this show too much.
Right. Until Dawn is a horror game, but it's like a choose your own adventure
books
thing. It's not a book. It's a game. I don't like choose your own adventure books because the story is only like 15 pages.
Yeah.
Usually. Because you start.
Tell me about the fucking game.
Well, I don't want to rehash everything I said in the last episode. You can listen to that, but I like it because it's. I think the campiness of it really works for that style of game, like the story element, where it's very story driven. There's not like action gameplay. You know, you're looking around, you're walking around looking for clues a lot of the time. But I ended up getting really attached to the characters. What?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
What if they use the Until Dawn engine to make a gritty reboot of Scooby-Doo?
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking awesome.
I really want them to do another game.
True Detective style, though. Bring in some new characters, bring in a new story.
Oh, you have to. The story is over.
Well, because it's possible for everyone to die. And that's not a spoiler. That's just how it goes.
That's the coolest thing is everybody can die and everybody can live. Yeah. There's no character that is safe or that has a predetermined path. And they can all die in multiple ways. There's like over 100 endings. And there was characters I really liked that I was heartbroken when they died. There was when that game ended, something happened, and I was like standing up, and I was like, "You motherfucker! How dare you? You're a monster! You let that person die."
Yeah.
But then I realized, and I felt really bad, but then I was like, the fact that a game can make me hate myself that much is a good game.
That's a good game.
So what's your honorable mention?
You've got that weird hair growing out of your forehead again. You didn't get it. You want me to get it? Let me get it. Turn your head this way a little bit. There you go. It's like an inch long. Did you make a wish?
Yeah.
Who was it?
I can't tell you.
My honorable mention for Game of the Year this year is going to be Fallout 4.
Okay. Ooh,
Fallout 4 was so fucking good. And I think a lot of people, that game came out and they were just like, fuck yeah, more Fallout. And they get lost in it and they fall down the rabbit hole. Or the well, the proverbial well. You know what happened to me?
What?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Came out, the game was fucking awesome. I put a lot of time into it. I'd say I've probably already put around 40 hours into it.
Yep.
I don't remember what level I am or anything. But I can say that the gameplay is so much better. I don't even use VATS anymore. The shooting is fixed to the point where it actually feels like a shooter that's not a clunky piece of shit. It's really fun. But the reason it's not like my runner-up or my game of the year is because I don't give half a fuck about the story. And the world is amazing. That's an amazing thing to do. But I feel like running Sanctuary and all these other forts and shit that I'm supposed to be taking care of, I don't give a fuck. Get that out of my face.
Okay.
And they're not making me do it. But that's something that's there where they kind of make you feel bad. Like, oh, Sanctuary's being attacked. If I don't save them, I'm like, motherfucker. But I don't really want to have to go save them.
Right.
You know what I mean? The reason I didn't put it up top is because it is just more Fallout.
Right.
There's not a whole lot different. You know what I mean?
It's
like at all.
Yes.
And they've taken steps back in certain areas, like the dialogue options. Like I used to be able to see what I was gonna say and pick which one I liked the best. I do like that our character has a voice now.
Yeah, I like that.
But just going yes, no, sarcastic, mean.
Yeah.
It's like, you know?
Right.
Because then sometimes I pick sarcastic and she's just like, well, maybe I'll shoot your fucking face. Like, that's not what I was trying to say at all.
Right.
But, it's great. Fallout 4 is amazing, don't get me wrong, but...
It's on your... It's
it's
top 3 games.
Yeah.
You have to feel bad.
But you know how the fucking people on the internet are. A game gets an 8.5 and they're just like, oh, so you're saying it's shit. Yeah. It's like, no. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
So honorable mention this year, I'm going to go Fallout 4.
My runner-up.
One more time?
My runner-up?
Yes.
Ironically, my runner-up is Fallout 4.
What a great day!
Whoa! So, this is interesting because Fallout 4 was by far my most anticipated game.
I have no idea what your game of the year is. I was so sure it was Fallout 4.
I'm full of tricks and surprises.
Yeah.
It was by far my most anticipated game for so long. And the thing is, it came out and it was everything I wanted it to be.
Yep. I'd say the same.
And yeah, like I spent so much time just wandering around, going into fucking buildings. Once I started going and doing quests, I was a little bit just like, I just kind of want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of like, I don't know if I leveled up too much and now it's like there's not enough challenge, but that was one thing where I was like, well, shit, I have to do, like, I feel like I want to do all this stuff, but I just want to go back and just explore the world more. And so there's like this little bit of conflict.
Yeah.
You know, but everything you said, but like I said, it was everything I wanted it to be. And it met my expectations. But what I will just give a little hint for my game of the year is my game of the year exceeded my expectations. So
I still don't know what it is.
Wow. If you think hard enough, you can figure it out for sure.
Those are fireworks.
Fireworks, no guns.
It's my turn for runner-up.
Runner-up?
You know what it's going to be? Wrong. Bloodborne.
Yes, no, I knew it was going to be.
Bloodborne.
I know what
Big
it
time.
was going to be.
Runner-up.
Yeah.
Bloodborne is so fucking good, and have I talked about this on this show? Either way, I'll get into it real quick. Bloodborne is a game that was super daunting because it's like of the same ilk as Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. So I was like, fuck, this is going to be really hard. But all the reports when this game were announced were just like, oh, it's slightly more arcadey, it's faster. So if you wanted to get into Dark Souls and just fuck shit up and not have to worry about being super technical and everything, this is the game for you. So I bought Bloodborne on a whim just because I was like, I think I might like this game.
Yeah. And
immediately I was like, I get to create my own character and make him look all sorts of weird. I gave him this long red hair, which I then did to myself because I thought it looked so cool. And I named him Jetstar after a song on True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. And I got this weird axe thing. It was like this little hatchet, and then you could make it go longer. Yeah. And I could swing this fucker, and I had a pistol and a shotgun. Yeah. This game was so fucking good. The level design in this game...
I was just going to say that.
From like, the purple and pink skies, and there's just these castles and these long stairs and everything. And you're walking like towards, just imagine these giant cobblestone stairs in this castle. And you look up and you're like, oh, it kind of looked like it was moving. And it is moving because there's a giant fucking spider on the castle. And if you get too close, he will eat you. And eventually you need to fight that spider.
It's not even like a spider. It's like
an alien demon.
It's like Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And like, little behind the scenes, before you get chopped off one of my games, this was going to be my honorable mention. And now I didn't even beat Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And
big mistake.
Well, the problem was, it wasn't the game's fault because I only got better at it as I played.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I got too frustrated and was like, "Fuck this game," and turned it off.
You're gonna hit a wall.
No, I believe it, but I only felt like I was getting stronger. But something happened that I didn't play it for a while, and then after being out of it for a week or two, I was like, it felt so intimidating to go back into it because I was like, I'm gonna be like lost everything because you learn that game, you know. But the level design, you were talking about like the art, like more like the art design, like what, which to me, the atmosphere of that game was way, like, spoke to me much more than like Demon Souls or Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, big time.
But just the way the level designs, like how you would get to an area and then open up, like
they're all interconnected.
Everything's connected, and it's unbelievable how it feels.
Like Colin Moriarty says, Mega Man 3 is a masterclass in gameplay. Bloodborne is a masterclass in level design, in my opinion.
I agree, 100%.
And not even just the level design, but the enemy design in that game. You'll see like this guy who's like 10 feet tall in a black cloak holding a purple lantern, and you're just like, what the fuck is that thing? And you think that guy's creepy. And then eventually you turn the corner and you just see a guy who's wearing a black robe and he's like facing the other way. And he turns around and his head is an octopus. And if he gets a hold of you, his tentacles will go over your head and he's going to suck your fucking brain out.
Well, then what about the guys that are like 15 feet tall and they're like hunched over and they got like a wrecking ball thing?
The werewolves that like slink down the alleyways. Everything about Bloodborne. Bloodborne gave me that feeling of, why am I doing anything when I could be playing Bloodborne? And I kept gaining confidence throughout that game. Like, they say in Dark Souls, they help you get better by every time you die, they take a little bit of your health away.
Yeah.
To me, I'd be like, alright, well, I'm just never going to beat this game. Because in Bloodborne, I did die a lot. Not on the bosses. I think I was like 8-0 on the first Bloodborne bosses. I was doing amazing.
I know. I didn't know how you were doing that. Like, I got better where I was taking like 1 or 2 tries. But
it was all like
the first couple took me so long.
My deaths in that game would be from me underestimating a group. Like, I'd be like, alright, I could pick these motherfuckers off. And I'd go out there and I would underestimate them and I would get fucking ganged on and I would die. And I would go in and be like, okay, I'll get rid of 3 of them. Then I could take the group. And I would. Yeah. But every time I faced a boss, I was just zoned the fuck in. I was dialed in. Like, I faced that first, like, doctor werewolf guy or whatever. And I remember you telling me, you're like, I can't fucking beat this guy. Yeah. And it took you like a day or 2 and then you got him. But the first time I fought him, I don't know what it was. It was like I was Bradley Cooper in Limitless. I was like, the first time he did it, I was like, okay, every time he attacks, he's going to go this way, swing to the right, and then he's going to throw this big, like, right slash. Yeah. Like, it was like fucking mathematical equations. Eventually, the bosses the bosses caught up to me, and I started having problems. But I did beat that game. I started a New Game Plus. I beat, like, the first zone. And I was like, let's take a break. Yeah. I beat it. Because in the New Game Plus, even though you're a badass now, the easiest enemies are badasses, too. And it's right back to square one. Right. So, Bloodborne is my runner-up for Game of the Year.
My Game of the Year, I talked about it on this show.
Own show?
Is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Now, I was so sure that you were going to do Fallout 4.
Well, here's the thing. Metal Gear Solid 5, I kind of bought on a whim. Because I was kind of in, like, gaming drought. The internet was abuzz with, you know, you'd go to Reddit and it was 100% Metal Gear Solid 5 gifs and... You know, I saw I like stealth games, but there's always something about stealth games that bugs me, and it's like, you want to like get through it without getting seen. You don't want to kill people, but there's really no. Sometimes there's really no incentive other than like it's like, oh, you got a good grade at the end of this. Where Metal Gear Solid 5, the gaming loop, as they call it, which it's like, it's the thing that keeps you coming back. You know, the gameplay is so much fun, but the way you like level up in that game is by fucking tying hot air balloons to people and sending them to your base, and and so it like gives you a reason to take guys out non-lethally because it's like, oh, that guy is an S rank in research and development. I fucking need him, so I'm not gonna kill him. I'm gonna shoot him with the dart gun, and then I'm gonna send him up to the base.
So I'm gonna send him to Mars.
Maybe they go there, and then come back down.
Marsal Gear.
They don't end up in Mars, but yeah, that was the game most this year that I was like, I just want to keep playing this and not do anything else. And when I wasn't playing it, I wanted to play it, and so that that is the main reason, because I remember when I first got that game, it was, I had like a final to take, and I took it at like Sunday at like midnight, like the last possible minute, because like I just stayed up
because of Metal Gear.
Because I just, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I played it for like 8 hours straight. So
you were an addicted boy.
I was.
It's interesting that you haven't beaten your game of the year.
I'll go back to it.
My game of the year is Goat Simulator.
What a piece of
I've never played it. My game of the year is Witcher 3. And see, it's funny that the last episode was Witcher 3 versus Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, well, but we recorded that episode because we were excited to talk about both of those games. Yeah. And it's clear why we were so excited, because we were both in love with those fucking games. The story elements of Witcher. Like, you play as Geralt of Rivia, I don't need to talk about the synopsis of Witcher 3. Just play it.
Yeah, just play it.
You're going across the story of Geralt. You're going across the story of Ciri, you know what I'm saying, who is kind of like a daughter to him. And we watch these tales be interwoven. You make decisions along the way because it is an RPG. And the ending of that game fucked me up, because I thought I was like, and this is not spoilers, because you can have characters die or they can live depending on choices you made throughout the game.
Okay.
So I was like, I think I did pretty well. Like, there's no way Ciri's gonna die. Like, I definitely saved her. Like, I was so good to her. Mm-hmm. But then I'm reading stuff online that's about, like, if you're too good to her and you coddle her, she won't learn. And she'll die. And I was like, fuck, was I too good to her? Like, I was, like, I think I let her make her own decisions. And it gets to the end of the game, and she like, walks into the light to take out this thing that I won't talk about.
Okay. And
so she goes into the light, and then the next thing is Geralt goes to the Emperor. And he says, Ciri's dead. And I was like, motherfucker. And I was so pissed off, because I put like 100 hours into this game.
Yeah.
I fucking love Ciri. Like, she's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It was like the attachment that I had to Clem in Walking Dead Season 1. I was taking care of this girl. And not that you have to. She can take care of herself. She's a fucking badass. But I had been through thick and thick with this girl. Thick and thin with this girl, I should say. So then after I talk to the Emperor, I go and I meet this guy who's making a sword. And he says, I made the inscription just like you wanted it. And you can choose whether it says Ciri, whether it says, like, the Flash, because she's got, like, a quick moving ability, or whatever. And you chose what's inscripted on the sword. And I'm like, fuck. I get to fight with this sword in her honor through the rest of, like, the end game content. But then I go to a pub and I present the sword to Ciri, who's not dead. I had her sword remade for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they swerved the shit out of me. And I was so sure that I fucked up by being either not good enough or too good. And that game, like, just that, and then choosing which one of the girls I was going to romance, and then I did. And I had to go on a mission with her where she was like, you need to, like, do a loyalty mission, kind of like Mass Effect, and stuff like that, to get her fully on your side. And her mission was, it turns out, it's either one of the books or Witcher 2. You did a quest that meant no matter what, you and her will always, like, love each other.
Okay.
And her loyalty quest is you need to undo that, so she can find out whether she really loves you or whether it's just because that like thing is there. So you have to help her not love you anymore, and you find out if you played your cards right that she actually does love you.
Nice.
And, like,
that's really cool.
It would have broken my heart if I undid that and she was just like, yeah, like, later, dude. But I played it right. You know what I'm saying? And then I had sex with her on a unicorn.
Bam.
That's Game of the Year material right there. This has been What Game Are You Gaming episode 4?
Yeah.
2015 Game of the Year. This is the artist formerly known as Mike Charles, who you can follow on Twitter where?
At the artist 616.
My name is Ian. You can follow me at IDS616. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/616entertainment. We do the 616 Entertainment podcast every Wednesday. iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can get it on all those places. Just search 616 Entertainment. Top 5 things I didn't know with Sal Melendez. The season 2 finale, January 8th. You don't want to miss it, DanDans.